How am I doing here as a transgender woman? Am I doing all right? How am I doing? All right? Is this all right? You know, I'm really confused a lot lately. You know, I'm living so many years as a man, now as a woman, so just forgive me about certain things. But my family seems to be all right with it. You know, my mom, in fact, she has a little bit of dementia, maybe that's why she's all right with it. But I went over there the other day and she said to me, you know, you look pretty good. You even have a glow about you. I said, Mom, you think I'm pregnant? She said, you are? I said, Mom, I can't be pregnant. And she says, oh, that's right, you're too old. You know, my friends, you know, I have friends here, lots of friends here tonight. My friend Jack, I knew for many years. I ran into him on the street. And I forgot that he didn't know me as a female. So I saw him, I said, Jack, how are you? And he says, do I know you? You know, you sound familiar, but do I know you? I said, yeah, it's Sisco. He said, oh, you're Frank's wife. You know, my name was Frank. I took the K off. As I explained earlier, I'm not taking anything else off. You know, maybe a little bit of this I'm going to take off, a little bit of the nose, maybe a little bit under here. But one of the things I find that I like about being transgender, are there any other transgender people in here tonight? Oh, you have a couple? All right. Oh, you went the other way, you went female to male. Worked out pretty well. One thing I really like about being transgender, and a lot of people don't know this, about when men, old guys, try to become young women, it makes me feel young. Real young. In my head, I think I'm a young girl. So I'm in CVS, you know how they call you up to the counter? I'm online, she's calling, Miss, and I'm not paying attention, I don't hear her. Guy behind me taps me on the shoulder, whispers in my ear and says, Miss, they're calling you. I said to myself, oh my God, he thinks I'm a young girl. The cashier thinks I'm a young girl. The whole store now thinks it. I'm all excited. I run up to the counter. Just as I run up to the counter, she sees all the wrinkles, that I'm really an old person. And she said, oh, CVS card, ma'am. Oh man, I got so deflated. I accidentally went into my male voice and I said, here you go. And she said, whoa, thanks, sir. Oh my God, so I was all upset, I'm leaving, but then I got vindicated because I looked at the receipt that the cash register generated, and the computer knew I was a woman because it said $2 off tampons. So not only did the computer know I was a woman, but young enough to have a menstrual cycle. You know, there are three genders. I had asked this, no, I don't think it was of you, Reggie, but someone else I asked and they didn't get. There are three genders. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and transgender women like me are from the meatpacking district. And, you know, things sometimes blend between the male and the female. You know, usually when I go to the bathroom, people always ask me that, which bathroom? Of course I go to the women's room, you know. But sometimes when I go, this happened a few months ago, I was in the city, I had to urinate really badly, and I rushed into this little restaurant and only had 2 stalls. So I go into the bathroom, and you know, and ordinarily you gotta turn around, I had a dress on, pull the dress up, pull the pantyhose down, do this, and I didn't have time, right? Because I'm just it's about to come out. So I run into the bathroom, I just pull it up, the dress up, I take and just as I'm doing it, I wasn't even quick enough, because what happened is, another woman came into the stall next to me, and she would see that my feet are faced this way and her feet are faced this way. She would then know I'm a man, and she would think I'm gonna rape her or something crazy. So I said, before she got into the stall, I went, oh my God, she's, you know, to myself, I'm saying, she's there. So I tried turning around, but I had already started, and now it starts squirting on the wall, you know, and then I turned around and started squirting into my pocketbook. So I went like this, and I pushed the pocketbook over to move it away from the squirt. The pocketbook fell out, and the mascara and the lipstick both started rolling underneath the wall. So I went with my hand to get it, and then as I'm going with my hand to get it, I realized I didn't have nail polish on that day, and that my hand looked more like a man's hand. So I mustered up everything I had, and I said, oh, excuse me. And evidently it worked. She said, oh no, that's okay. And she pushed the nail polish, she pushed the lipstick and the mascara back over. So I escaped that tragedy. But these are things that you non-transgender people don't usually go through. And these are some of the things that I go through. Sometimes...
prostate cancer.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Robert?
Prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer, right. You know, I may have less of a chance. You know, another thing that's a problem is sometimes to augment. See, I don't know. Does that look okay? You know, I'm so concerned about my looks. You know, I'm
pretty hot, baby.
Oh yeah, thank you. Oh wow, did you get that on tape, Kelly? You got that him saying that? Yeah, get it. When I'm at Jones Beach when it was warmer, you know, I love Jones Beach. So I go to Jones Beach. I'm bending over, splashing water on myself, and just as I'm doing that, one of my silicone. You know, do you ever see these? I'm sure you have. Do you ever see these, Sylvia? You falls out in the water. So I bend down. I'm trying to find it. The water's cloudy. I can't find it. I give up. I'm going back to the blanket. Just then I hear a little kid yell out, "Mommy, Mommy, jellyfish!" I said, get it, $45, you know? I didn't want to lose it. So these are some of the things that you go through in the attempt to be female, but...
That's what you call uncharted waters.
Uncharted waters, right, uncharted waters. But you know what, I'd rather lose one of them and be mistaken as a jellyfish than continue the life I was leading, because I guess I wasn't really being authentic. And as odd as this sounds, I feel I'm more authentic now, transitioning to female, even though I was born a man, as odd as that may sound to you. But I want to share this. It's a religious thing. I have to tell you about this.
No, wait. Look at it this way. You're between both worlds.
That's right. You know, people don't
make up your mind.
Right. There's a difference. You know, a transsexual. The difference between a transsexual and a transgender person. A transsexual doesn't have any balls through surgery, but a transgender person like me has real big ones. You know? I want to tell you this about the Pope.
You want a good laugh? Go see Bad Grandpa.
Okay. Yeah. What's that? It's okay. I want to tell you this about Pope Francis. A lot of the media said he named himself after St. Francis of Assisi. Okay? But I have it from some people that he saw my videos on YouTube and he said, you know what? I want to name myself after that transgender comic. What's her name? And someone said, well, that's Fran, or Francis, baptismal name. He says, I'm going to go for that. So he said, yeah, right. What's her full name? And the person telling him in Spanish said something like, Francis didn't have the translation right on transgender and said sissy. So he named himself St. Francis. He meant the transgender, but he said to sissy, so that's how it came out, St. Francis of Assisi. So that's how we got that name. And I had this dream. I'm going to close with a couple of jokes here. I had this dream that I went to heaven and God asked me, what's the question you didn't get answered all your life? You know that thing they ask you up in heaven when you get it through the gates? And I said, am I a guy? Am I a girl? Or am I transgender? That's been my burning question. So God said, his voice was, and what God said was, you are made in my image. The person before him, I heard God say, you are what you are, you know, things like that. He said, you are made in my image. I said, what is that? What does that mean? That doesn't help me out. So I leave. I didn't want to argue with him the first day, you know, that I'm in heaven. So I leave and I'm going back. St. Peter said, did you get an answer? I said, no, he just said you are made in my image. St. Peter says, well, that's your answer. You have a child, right? I said, yes. And he said, well, what did God look like? I said, he didn't, you know, I couldn't see him. You couldn't see him. He was transparent. So St. Peter said, there's your answer. You're a transparent. All right, so sometimes I get mistaken, or I get a little embarrassed if somebody makes me as transgender, you know. Not so much anymore, but about a year ago, I was in Marshall's, right? And I'm looking for shoes. They have a great assortment of shoes at Marshall's, right, girls? Right? So I'm in Marshall's looking, and I'm looking for wide shoes. And this girl came up and she says, she looked at me like pleasant, like she was smiling. And I felt somewhat embarrassed, you know, that she thought I was transgender. I don't know why I was embarrassed, right? But I was embarrassed. And she said, no, don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. What are you embarrassed about? I said, well, I'm a little embarrassed. I was physically embarrassed, red. She said, don't be embarrassed. Here at Marshall's, everything is irregular. All right, thanks a lot. Thank you for this wonderful show tonight. Thank you all for coming out. And please hang around. Please tip your waiter, tip your bartender, Anna, and Pat is the owner here with her son Chris. And everybody enjoy the place. And you got to come back here. We're going to do another show. And Andrew Steiner does open mic. Anybody wants to try comedy, open mic here every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. Okay? And give it up once more for the comedians. Yeah. Thank you.